Hi, everyone. Do you remember the 15th of September, 2008? I remember that day very well. I was on the trading floor at Merrill Lynch, and we became another bank overnight. The world changed forever. Nothing was the same again because it was the beginning of the financial crisis. And I remember, in the midst of all of this thinking, something like this should never happen again. So much value was lost. We're talking about $20 trillion, and everyone in this room was affected by it. I'm Diana Paredes, and this is what Suade is all about. Suade is about preventing the next financial crisis. And by now, everybody knows that the only way forward is regulation. It needs to be embraced. So Suade is bridging the regulatory gap through modern technology. We're focusing on Basel III, which is the bit of regulation that cares about keeping in check the health of your balance sheet. It is a huge problem. $100 billion are spent every year in Basel III alone. It affects 21,000 banks, and that represents 85% of the world's GDP. And it is an IT problem. This is how banking used to look. So with the regulation and the systems being built in a really monolithic way, and the regulation really being an afterthought, which was fine for a pre-crisis scenario, but this is how the world looks today. What a mess. Because of complex regulation and antiquated legacy systems, banks keep playing catch-up. So the rules are changing, but the systems that failed us in 2008 aren't. And the other problem is that every time the regulation changes, which is all the time, more money and resources are being wasted without inherently changing anything and adding nothing to a bank's balance sheet and to their bottom line. So we wanted to make sure we resolve the problem once and for all. And we conducted hundreds of interviews with CFOs, IT people, regulators, and identified that there was no solution out there built with the spirit of regulation in mind. And that means allowing for transparency, allowing for scalability, for cost effectiveness, and above all, continuous compliance. So we came up with RAS, Regulation as a Service, and our whole architecture has been built with the regulator at the core of it. Do you remember how it used to look? This is where Suade is making a difference. Our unique blend of regulatory, banking, and tech expertise, and the deep understanding that we have of all the problems at hand means that we can take a very complex process inside the banks and streamline it by building IT for regulation. We believe in producing benchmark regulatory code with tools that allow you as a bank to understand where you sit within the regulatory framework, to implement the rules so that you can fit within it, and finally, taking it all the way to the quant solution so that you can optimize, maximize, and be proactive in the usage of your balance sheet. We believe it should be as easy as browsing the web. And to quote one of the big four consulting firms, Suade is bringing modern technology to regulatory IT. We're a young company, but we have achieved an enormous amount in a legendarily difficult to disrupt industry. And the reason for that is because we're solving a huge problem for the sector. I used to work at Barclays, and I left under the Barclays Texas Accelerator umbrella. We finalized our revolutionary architecture in the fall, and we have received an enormous amount of support. That's actually me at number 10, and some coverage we got at the FT, and now we're at Microsoft Ventures. And I am talking about support from industry experts as well, like our partnership with Simmons & Simmons, one of the top regulatory law firms in the world. We have already secured our first paid pilot with a UK bank, in an industry where the average sales time is 18 months for enterprise software in fintech. We have our targets set, and we're very well positioned to meet them because we have more than 15 banks who are keen to trial our solution. And we are the team to do this. My co-founder and CTO, Murat, and myself spent almost a decade in banking dealing with the intricacies of regulation. Our brilliant and experienced developers, Marcus and Jesper, are as passionate as we are about developing and delivering the technology that will prevent the next financial crisis. And this passion for a mission is something that we share with everybody around us, like our advisors. To mention some of them, Sharon Bowles, who was shortlisted to be governor of the Bank of England and a member of the European Parliament. Carrie, who introduced us, CMO of Euromoney. Aaron, head of financial services at Cisco. And Shashi, an enterprise architect expert from Microsoft. So we're surrounded by great people who want us to succeed. So if you feel as passionate as we do about our hashtag and preventing the next financial crisis, please come see us. If you want to become a friend of Suade as an investor, an advisor, or a connector, come see us at the end, because with Suade, we will make sure 2008 never happens again. Thank you.